Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Tanya. Thrifting is really at the heart of everything that I do in my home. I really like to reimagine and reuse. As you know, if you've been watching, I have been thrifting for furniture lately. I've been looking for pretty specific pieces for my house, but mostly I have been super obsessed with buying cabinets. They are either cabinets that come off of the top of a buffet, or like this one out of a dining room, or they're out of kitchens. They have very flat bottoms, and so they all need legs, and I just love the look of these cabinets when they're elevated. I thrifted this cabinet in my most recent yard sale video, and I will put a link up here for you. You can just click on the card and watch that if you'd like to see where I got it. It was such an amazing find, and I only paid $50 for it. I just thought it was so charming and so full of personality. I can't wait to show you what I turned it into.
Here's the original cabinet, just the way that I bought it. I'm trying out this brand Dixie Belle chalk paint for the first time. The color I'm using is Midnight Sky. It's a soft matte black. Using tinfoil in my paint tray makes for really easy cleanup. I needed way more paint on my roller to start with, but I'm holding a camera at the same time, so I didn't want to overdo it. Plus, it's the first time I'm using it, so I kind of want to see what happens when I use different amounts of paint. I'm definitely going to put 2 coats on this cabinet. This paint is so super thick. Some people will say not to do this, but I know that there are some people who actually water this paint down, and I would definitely try that in the future on a piece that I'm not so in love with, just to see what happens. I definitely feel like it could be watered down and would not be a problem. My only concern is whether or not it would scratch easily if I water it down. I'll probably find a small coffee table or something to try that out on, something that gets knocked around so I can really test it out. I'm not too worried about getting great coverage on these smaller parts right now because I'm going to come back in with a brush. I didn't even bother taping anything off on this because as long as I catch it right away, any paint that gets anywhere I don't want, it just wipes right off. This is the Dixie Belle chip brush, and I don't know, I'm not particularly impressed with it. I'm going to give it another chance though on a larger area. I'm going to use this chip brush for the entire inside of the cabinet, and then I'll know. The outside of this cabinet has 2 coats on it now. I think it looks beautiful. I thought this cabinet would look really nice two-toned. I also think that I would lose the leaded glass here if I painted the doors. And since that's this cabinet's best feature, I want to highlight those instead. So I'm going to paint the inside of this cabinet to make those more noticeable. Again, this is my first time using this brand, so I'm going to try out this color. It's called Buttercream. I was originally worried that it'd have too much yellow in it, but I wanted a really creamy white, and this was really the only thing they had in their line. This paint can be mixed, but it would be impossible to get the same color if I didn't make enough, so I have a backup plan in case this doesn't work out. I also did not use a primer because I was afraid that'd bring out more yellow. I'm slopping it on nice and thick, and I'm not worried about the brush strokes because from using the roller, I already know that this paint's going to level out. If I have any problems with this color, I'm not going to be able to use wax because I am planning on refinishing it and bringing it back to wood at a later date. I'm going to go ahead and keep using it because I started with it, but yeah, I'm really not in love with this brush at all. When I paint the legs, I'm going to switch to a different brush. I'm just going to try an art brush that I got at Dollar Tree. I'm getting the feeling that this brush is using up a lot more paint than I actually need. I'm doing a 2021 update for my whole house right now, so all I need is a really smooth finish. I think it would work great for some of those really fun chalk painting techniques, but it's just not the right tool for this job. The first coat is not even at all, but I know it'll get better after the second coat. However, I can already tell that up against the colors I'm using it with, this is not going to work. It's going to be way too white. So after I get the second coat on and allow it to dry thoroughly, of course, I'm going to go ahead and use my backup plan. Here's the coverage after the second coat. I'm using a cup of water and very thin classic wood stain. Early American is what I had laying around, so that's what I'm using. And I'm basically going to tea stain the inside of this cabinet. I poured my stain straight into the cup of water. As you can see, it puddles up and just kind of stays at the top. It doesn't ever really mix in. It will continue to bead up like it's doing in the middle right now. But that worked fine. It was still getting diluted. cheesecloth would have worked so much better, but I didn't have any on hand, so I just used an old paint rag. I started with a wet rag to begin with, and I made sure that it stayed wet the entire time so that the stain would move and I wouldn't get streaks. I just wanted a nice tea stain that would just make the color creamier and deeper and not so bright white. Water was really the key. And you can see once it's dry, it's a nice soft color on the inside. It's not drawing too much attention. It's just really highlighting the doors. I have these lights on it while I'm shooting, so it does look a little bit brighter than it is in real life, but I'm really happy with the colors and I'm ready to move on to the legs. I thrifted these as well. They were only $5, and I will put a card here for the yard sale video where I thrifted them in case you want to see that. It's still hard for me to paint and hold a camera at the same time, but this is the brush I was telling you about from Dollar Tree. It's just an art brush, and this paint is going on like butter. Love. For this type of project, I'm definitely using art brushes from now on. And I can tell it's taking a lot less paint to get really good coverage. These are the legs finished after 2 coats. I love them. I also love this color. It's reminding me of the Sherwin-Williams 2021 Color of the Year Urbane Bronze. What a stunner, right? It's trending, but not trendy. It's #1 on the list of colors to bring into my house for 2021. These little brackets have to be installed on the bottom of the cabinet before I can screw the legs on. Pre-drilling is a must for me because I would just die if I split the wood on a piece of furniture. And then you can just screw in the screws with a regular screwdriver after that. They're really easy to install. And this is what the bottom looked like once I had all 4 corners on. Oopsie, forgot to take the felt off the bottom. Got to screw in the legs. This was the best part because this is when I get to see what it's really going to look like, how it all comes together. I think they look really great. I'm so excited about them because I had no idea what I was going to use them for when I thrifted them. Here's a quick reminder of what the cabinet looked like before. And here's my baby, all grown up. I'm really happy that I went with the longer legs. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe and let me know if you'd like to see more content like this.